or listening to Soap Dirt, your go-to source for the freshest scoops and deep dives into television's most riveting dramas. And today, General Hospital fans, we've got big news. It's official. Kelly Thibaud is back, and yes, she's returning as Dr. Britt Westbourne, not as a lookalike or a long-lost cousin. But the question that's lighting up fan forums and soap socials alike is this. How in the world is GH going to walk back Britt's very dramatic, very final death? I'm Belinda from Soap Dirt, and in this segment, we're unpacking all the wild possibilities of how General Hospital might undo Britt's tragic demise, without alienating its fiercely loyal viewers. Airplane arrival, the return. So here's what we know. Kelly Thibaud is not just back, she's already appeared on screen twice. The first sighting? Jason glimpsed a woman at an airport boarding a flight to Croatia. She looked hauntingly familiar, like Britt, but before he could confirm, she was gone. Later, we saw him having flashbacks of their past romance, reinforcing the sense that this was no coincidence. Then, the second appearance. A woman, unmistakably Britt, stepped out of a car in Croatia and declared, "It's good to be back." But what's she doing in Croatia? Interestingly, that's the same location as a courier tied to Dalton, a shady figure being watched by WSB agents Joss and Bon. And rumor has it Britt's mother, Dr. Liesel Albrecht, might be collaborating with Dalton. Which raises the stakes considerably. Is Britt on a collision course with Dalton? Is this all part of a bigger, secret operation? Headstone, the problem. Let's rewind. The last time we saw Britt, she was dying in her mother's arms, a victim of the infamous hook killer's venom-laced blade. That killer turned out to be Heather Weber, in one of GH's most chaotic arcs. Despite what Dante said to Rocco, Britt died a hero, sacrificing herself to protect Jocelyn Jacks. Naturally, fans questioned if the woman spotted in Croatia was a mere doppelganger, or someone who'd undergone extensive plastic surgery. But that theory's dead in the water. It's now confirmed, this is Britt Westbourne. Somehow, she's alive. And that leads to the real dilemma. How do the writers explain her survival, and more importantly, her Huntington's disease? DNA, the Huntington's hurdle. This isn't a small pothole in the road. Huntington's disease is a progressive, fatal, incurable condition, and Britt had already begun showing symptoms. GH can't just wave a magic wand and hope viewers forget. Jason himself had poignant flashbacks about her diagnosis, anchoring it firmly in canon. The writers face a dangerous tightrope. Fans are already vocal about how disrespectful it would be to downplay or erase Huntington's for the sake of convenience. Especially since Britt's father, Cesar Faison, succumbed to the very same illness. Test tube, soapy solutions. So how can General Hospital pull this off without insulting viewers and medical science? Let's dive into the most plausible, and delightfully implausible, theories. Point 1. The clone conspiracy. Let's go full soap opera. Suppose Britt is a clone, the result of some wild human-animal genetic tinkering in Dalton's lab. It's not unheard of, after all. The GH spin-off Port Charles featured vampires and space aliens. Remember Anna's fling with Casey? This clone theory would sidestep both the Hook killer death and the Huntingtons. Maybe Liesel even grew this clone, hoping to experiment on it, but it escaped or was activated later. Two. Saved, but still sick. Another theory suggests that Liesel saved Britt from the Hook poisoning. But that wouldn't explain the missing symptoms. Unless Liesel and Dalton have been quietly working on a cure, and she's the boss Dalton's associates feared disappointing. That opens up a storyline where Britt's been undergoing radical, top-secret treatment. Receipt, false diagnosis twist. Here's where it gets juicy. What if Britt never had Huntington's to begin with? Yes, Faison had it. But perhaps Britt's test results were forged, tampered with out of revenge. GH is no stranger to wild retcons. Maybe someone drugged her to simulate symptoms. Top suspect? Nicholas Cassadine. He had the means and the motive. Britt stole his sister Lulu's embryo, and he's pulled worse in the past. Remember the hit on Hayden Barnes? A fake diagnosis would be diabolically fitting. Another candidate, the late Luke Spencer, who had no love for Faison or his progeny. He would have had every reason to sabotage Britt if he thought she was dangerous. Brain, memory loss and mind games. Let's not forget the oldest soap trick in the book, amnesia. One leak suggests Britt is indeed herself, but with no memory. Maybe the treatment for her hook wounds or Huntington's wiped her mind. Maybe Dalton developed a neural scrub that burned out the part of her brain affected by the disease. She's alive, but her past has been erased. Women with bunny ears, secret twin shocker. Another classic soap trope, the secret twin. It's been done before, more than once, and could be recycled here. What if Britt had a twin stolen at birth by Faison? Liesel might have only recently discovered her. Using WSB tech, Liesel could have implanted Britt's memories into the twin, or used the twin to save the real Britt's essence. It's convoluted, but it's GH. And it would explain the presence of memories and the absence of illness. Pill, the experimental cure. And finally, the most grounded, but still risky, theory. Britt's Huntington's is in remission. Thanks to an experimental treatment, perhaps from Liesel or Dalton, her symptoms are gone, for now. It would require tactful writing to avoid minimizing the disease. But if done well, it could open new doors for storytelling, especially a romantic reunion with Jason. Revolving Hearts, The Road Ahead. Kelly Thibault herself has said she'd love for Britt and Jason to reunite. And fans seem to agree. That pairing had undeniable chemistry. No matter what explanation GH goes with, clone, amnesia, miracle cure, or mistaken identity, we're just thrilled to have Britt back. Now let's hope the writers treat this resurrection with the narrative care it deserves. Headphone, outro. Thanks for listening to Soap Dirt. Catch us on all major podcast platforms, from Apple to Spotify to iHeartRadio, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss a twist.